Happy hump day, everybody. Mr. Menifee here. Today is our day. As y'all know, we do two things. It's our Pointe Podcast Day as well as our hump day, cook day. So what we're going to be cooking today, we're going to do something a little unique here. I don't know if you guys ever done this before, but today we having a seafood fest. We're going to have salmon, and this is going to be let me see, hold up, smoked crab legs. I don't know if you guys ever had smoked crab legs before. They're gonna be steamed, they're gonna be smoked, and they're gonna be good. Okay, so we got smoked crab legs over here today. And now let me tell y'all about our special guest. This, as y'all know, Pointe Podcast, all guests are special. But here's the young lady today, why she is so special. She beat cancer twice. She's been a business owner long as I've known her, since the 1990s, when we met back in 1993, 1994, somewhere like that. And she owns several different restaurants. She owns one of the longest standing restaurants today, Daddy D'z BBQ, off of Memorial Drive in Atlanta, Georgia. Daddy D'z BBQ. Go down there and see us. They got them great smoked ribs, great wings, just great food, period. Daddy D'z on Memorial Drive. But today we're going to meet Miss Christinah Coker, aka Chris. Very good near dear friend of mine. Like I say, she went through beating cancer a couple of times, a couple of surgeries, and she has so positive and brought her inspiration back. I want you guys to meet her and enjoy today. Sit back, because she, as always, pinpointed the B2B business, meaning business to business podcast. So we're going to have fun today. We're going to eat good, and we're going to have fun, and she's going to tell y'all about her woes, foes, highs, and lows of the business of her entrepreneurship. She's a very educated woman as well, have several degrees. So today, on Hump Day, we having Seafood Fest, as well as we're going to talk to Miss Christinah. Everybody come join us at Pointe Podcast. Hope you guys as always enjoy, and thank you. Always see us, like and subscribe on YouTube. And if anybody ever, because we do a lot for teens and young adults, anybody ever want to do a donation, you can go to Zelle and go find us on the Pinpoint Foundation, or you can send in a check. Any kind of donation will be greatly appreciated. Hey, Pinpoint Podcast, we'll see you soon. We all know today is Hump Day, Pointe Podcast Day, and Cook-Off Feast Day with staff, friends, and family. Today our special guest here is, as we know, all guests here on Pointe Podcast are special. Everybody who take their time out, their busy schedule, to come speak on Pointe Podcast is special. But here's a very special guest.
More special than most.
This is Miss Christinah Coker, aka Chris. And the reason why she's so special, God blessed her. For one, she's beat cancer twice. She is the owner of Daddy D'z BBQ Restaurant on Memorial Drive, downtown Atlanta. Been around for 31 years now. This year made 31 years since the barbecue restaurant, one of the infamous, longest running barbecue restaurant been here in Atlanta. Daddy D'z, go check it out. They got great ribs. They got great food, great wings, just everything great. So go check that out. But today we're going to be talking to Miss Christinah Coker. And like I said, we're going to talk about all her businesses, her trials and tribulations, her highs, lows, woes, and foes, because she is a true entrepreneur. She also is a college graduate, holds several different degrees, and she just been through it, and she's here today to talk about everything that she's been through. Outside of that, we friends, so we'll get a little personal today. Hey, we hope y'all get ready to enjoy Pointe Podcast, and we're going to kick off with the first question, which is, before we start, Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from, Miss Christinah Coker.
So, I grew up in D.C., Maryland. And my father is from Africa. He's Nigerian. My mother's Norwegian. And when I was young, they were at Howard Medical School. I grew up in Welfare Towers, which was a project. My father was involved with the Black Panther Party early on. So he knew Stokely Carmichael and people like that, Mary McKeeba, a lot of people. And he was just involved with setting up the free clinics that the Black Panthers set up. And people don't realize that the Black Panther Party wasn't just a militant organization. They really were trying to improve the situation for the Black community. So they set up a lot of free clinics and things of that nature. And when I tell people that, they're like, but your mom was white. How was he involved in the Black Panther Party and he was married to her? But my mom was one of the first white people to graduate from Howard Medical School.
Oh, really? Because I know she's a doctor, right?
Yep. She black by what you call it? Osmosis or whatever you want to
Oh,
call it.
okay.
Michael
Jackson black?
She Michael Jackson black.
Okay.
She had black in her all the time, so she was there before she was black. She cooked the African foods, speak the language, wear the dress, all that. Growing up in D.C., it was that was real chocolate city.
Real chocolate city back in what they say, Pete Funk Parliament.
There you go.
There you go.
And also, you can't forget go-go music. That's the real music. So for me,
what was the real reason?
Go-go.
The go-go music.
Yeah, don't sleep on our shit.
Yeah. I like go-go.
So the thing for me is that my dad was always big on teaching me Black history or African history. I knew as a little girl that Timbuktu was where the first university was. I knew that Hannibal learned military, West Point took military strategy from Hannibal, from the books, from the knowledge, democracy. The Greeks and the Romans went to Africa to learn democracy and philosophy, and then went back. Like, we are the cradle of civilization. And my dad never let me forget it. And even though my mom was white, she never let me forget that I was a Black child.
Wow.
She made sure that I understood that I would always be recognized as a Black child.
Wow.
My dad made sure that I understood there was nothing that I couldn't attain without knowledge. As long as I had knowledge, I could gain everything.
Right.
Knowledge was power. Police are corrupt in every country of the world, but knowledge is power. That was his thing.
Over in Africa too, because I know you're
everywhere. Over there, you just pay him what you want to pay him, and you're good.
Oh, okay.
There, you do it over here too, but it's just a little bit more covert.
Right.
I mean, we just have to learn how to operate within the system that we're in. And
without complaints.
Exactly. We have to understand that as Black people, first of all, the last shall be first, and the first shall be last.
Okay. So
we have to understand that we came from the beginnings. We have the knowledge. We had the first democratic governments. We had the first civilizations. We had the first universities. We built the pyramids. We built so much. The natural resources come from our origins. What we don't understand is how to maximize our dollar.
Which you master, because your degree is in finance.
That's right. My master's in finance.
Got finance, and then I know when I met her back in 1994. Back in 1994,
I don't like
she
that.
owned.
Sounds so.
What was it on Ponce de Leon? You own Oshie's.
I owned a beauty supply store.
She owned a beauty supply store, and she was doing her thing back in the day.
Now,
everybody was making money back in them days.
Now, mind you, I've always worked in corporate America. It wasn't until I got sick that I left corporate America, only because I got put on disability. And as much as there are certain things I like about corporate America. I like the different things that came across my desk that I got to deal with. And I like the fact that at one point I was handling, a $500 million portfolio.
Right.
And I enjoyed monitoring those budgets and forecasting when we were going to run out of money or when we needed more influx and different things of that nature, how much capital we needed, how much expense we needed. I enjoyed that, I did.
Because you work for AT&T corporate?
And Home Depot.
Which was bookkeeper?
I was the financial program manager for some of the enterprise IT, and then I went to
how was that?
I had a good time, and I enjoyed my work because I'm a workaholic. I love working. I love crunching numbers and figuring out different problems and finding different solutions. The problem I have with corporate America is watching white men with less education come in and make more money than me. And that's an aspect, unfortunately, as a black woman or even a black man, that's something that we have to contend with.
Is that what drove you to your entrepreneurship?
Absolutely. That and the fact that when
but corporate America did help you keep structure.
Corporate America taught me a lot of things. So number one, corporate America taught me how to lead from behind. Sometimes to be a leader, you can't just stand out in the forefront. Sometimes you have to know how to manipulate people or teach them how to go along to the right way very subtly. And that person might be your supervisor, it might be an executive director, it might be a VP. And you have to sometimes find a way to massage the knowledge to them in a way that they think or they can say that it was their idea. You know it was yours, but you know for the success of the project, you want to make sure it happens.
So you learned in corporate America, it's not about you, it's about the team.
It's
helping the team to succeed, which I noticed a lot of small business owners, they my, like Johnny Gill, mine. I ain't gonna say
exactly.
That. Yeah, a lot of people do the my.
Sometimes not taking credit shows more of your character than standing out in front and beating your chest and being able to say, I did that.
Right.
Because you want the overall success of the project. Those who are involved know who really did what they needed to do.
Yeah.
And that's what's important, because once the project is successful, then if you work for good people or you work for people who have somewhat of a conscience or some character, you're going to get your promotions, you're going to move forward. And then if you're not, you go to another company. If they don't appreciate your skills and the things you bring to the team, there's always a company that will. You keep moving around until you find that good fit. You know, 30 years ago, they wanted you to have longevity at one company. Nowadays, they want to see that you've worked in a bunch of different places, not short term, like 2 or 3 months, but maybe a year here, 2 years there, so that you've experienced different things at different places and you have things that you can pull upon that might help you offer solutions to different problems or different situations so that you can improve what's going on there. So when you have experience at different corporations, another corporation will pick you up simply because you've got a breadth of knowledge that's spread out and you can give them different ideas. And that's really what it's all about. I mean, we live in a society now where technology is just like, man, it's all over the place. So we want people who come with different ideas. It's not about always following a straight line. Sometimes you got to work outside the lines.
Right.
Sometimes you got to think outside the box.
So,
and if you're not able to do that, it's hard to be successful.
Right. So, I'm glad you said that. So, success from the 1990s all the way to 2021. Back then, you owned Oshie's.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, you own a couple other businesses outside of that. Then you own Charlotte's.
Yep.
That was downtown on Mitchell Street.
Yes.
And now Daddy D'z. Daddy D'z been around for 31 years this year.
It has.
You bought it in about
2017, 2018.
Yeah, I thought about 2016. Yeah, 2017?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you bought it, what's that, 5 years ago?
Something like
6 years? 4
or 5.
Don't blame me for the math. Yeah, don't blame. I'm normally listening. Yeah, it's 5 years ago.
4. Something like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, fuck it. Don't be blaming me for the math. But anyway, I'm normally sharper than that. But anyway, so from 2021, all the way back from 1994, Oshie's was a beauty supply, because that was the end thing. But it wasn't many minority African American women owning beauty supply. So you tackle that concept and you talk about how you get into that. And like today, you buying one of the most popular, longest reigning barbecue joints in Atlanta. Both are success. So tell me the difference between the two. Of course, one is food, one is beauty supply. But both of them at that time, like now and like then, were very important to a black woman own.
So
by themselves, by the way.
It is.
Because you sold on, right?
Yes, always. So what we don't understand in the African American community is that we actually actually spend more of our disposable income than any other race. We don't recognize the power of our dollar. Our dollar speaks, but we don't get it. So one area that African American women, and even men, but more so women, we spend a lot of our money is in our appearance, hair care, things of that nature. And the beauty supply industry is controlled by the Koreans. It bothered me that I saw a race that, or an ethnic group, I should say, or however you want to look at it, nationality, that doesn't have our hair, doesn't understand our culture, but yet they're selling us everything that we need. So I decided to open a beauty supply and hair salon. And I really did try to work with different stylists, and I tried to get them to do a co-op because I noticed that there was a young man, I'm not going to say his name, but he owned a company that was manufacturing and purchasing and selling to beauty supply and salons at an alarming rate. He controlled the southeastern market, and he even had a location in Chicago. He was cool now. He was cool as fuck. I liked him. But it bothered me that he controlled our hair market.
Oh, he wasn't black?
At all. He was Korean.
Oh, okay.
So when I would go into his warehouse to buy supplies, because he had all the low-end products, the high-end products, like Paul Mitchell, Nexus, things like that, I bought from the company. For some reason, our products are considered low-end products. Don't ask me why. You know the reason. When I would go into his warehouse to buy things, I'd see other Koreans come in. They got credit. When I came in, I had to pay cash. Not because my credit was bad.
Racial disparity.
I just didn't have the right skin color or whatever. I didn't have the right nationality. Even though I knew the owner, and we would chit chat and talk. And so I talked with different hairstylists, like, look, we can buy our own warehouse, we can do our own thing, control our own products, buy from these different companies that make these products. Because some of the products he carried were made by African American companies. So why couldn't we have this ourselves? But I couldn't get them to understand that the co-op was the way to go. I had, back before weave was a thing, I carried natural hair that I ordered directly from overseas. And we did okay. So Carol's daughter, Carol's daughter before they became national, because I bought directly from Lisa before it became a big thing. And other black designers and people who made hair care products and body products, I would buy from them. But it was really hard to compete with the big, huge beauty supply stores that were 4,000 square feet. I wasn't that big. I carried the best of the products though, but I wasn't that big. And I realized that we just don't understand how to control our dollar. But unfortunately, I did close it down because I got pregnant.
And how long the business was open for? Quite some time?
I had it for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I probably could have stayed open longer, but I realized that it was futile. There's a point in time in any business where you realize that this is not making the headway you need to make. You need to cut yourself and move on to the next thing. So I did. Me being pregnant, getting ready to have children. My whole goal is to set up a legacy, because generational wealth is something that we don't have in our community. I want to make sure that if I leave this earth, my children always have. And they know how to keep getting. You know,
they know how not to mess up the money that you leave them behind.
Exactly.
Or the wealth.
If they're not doing what they're supposed to do before I go, then I didn't shit. But it's not just about building generational wealth. It's also about teaching your children how to grow, how to move, how to maneuver, how to build businesses, how to think outside the box. It's all of that. And a lot of times we don't understand that.
Right.
But the biggest problem with our community, you know, I love my black brothers and sisters. Right. I might be lightly toasted, but I am a black woman through and through.
Yes, she is that.
I am. I'm a boss bitch. I don't play.
You're what?
I'm a boss bitch.
Oh, BB. I can't say it, but she gonna say it.
We don't understand how much we truly control. We have made Hennessy billions. We have made Moet billions. We have made Nike billions. We have made all these company billions. But how much do they put back in our community?
Absolutely zero.
Exactly.
But then we bad with each other too.
But if we are.
Very bad. We'll still give our money to them.
I don't have a problem. You can spend your dollar wherever you want
Wherever
to.
you want.
The issue I have is when we go into black-owned establishments and talk shit. If you can't fucking do what I'm doing, shut the fuck up. It's that simple.
Right.
Don't hate on me. If you want to offer me constructive criticism and say, hey, could you do this better? Then come and talk to me and say, hey, I wasn't happy with this, I wasn't happy with that. Give me a chance to make it right. But don't come in there talking shit and showing your ass and giving me a hard time, because I'm going to tell you, get the fuck out.
Right.
I don't want your money if it comes with all that bullshit. Talk to me like I'm a human. Talk to me like you have respect for me and I have respect for you, because I'm not going to treat you like that.
Right.
We have to understand that we can't sit here and tear each other down and exhibit that nasty ass attitude with each other and show our ass and think that it's going to get us anything. We need to work together. We have to build together. You know, back before civil rights, we had our own banks, we had our own businesses, we had our own communities, and we were prosperous. And
Like Wall Street.
Exactly, it's Tulsa.
Well, yeah.
But it's not just, it wasn't
I would
just.
say you have a lot of others that people don't talk
But
about.
it took a movie like Rosewood for people to understand. See, and this is one thing I appreciated about my father. I knew about Tulsa when I was in 4th grade. I knew about Rosewood and things like that before the movies were made. I could be a rapper. You see how this shit kind of flowed together?
Right. You could be a rapper, right?
But, you know, because my dad taught me those things. Like, I knew African, I knew where I came from. I knew what our people did. And we are so resilient and so resourceful and so intelligent. And there's nothing that can stop us except for us.
And on that note, hey, Pinpoint was to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back at you. Continue to talk with Miss Christinah Coker. All right, stay tuned because it gets more and more interesting. We'll be right back at you. Give us a few ticks as I call it.
Introducing to you Pinpoint Foundation's Real Estate Lounge, a unique experience in all things real estate and other business ventures. Pinpoint is an expansive company that is driven to put our customers' best interests first in all aspects. From commercial and residential real estate representation, where we do closings here at the office, to our 501c3, mentoring and nonprofit events, filming productions, and courier services, come let Pinpoint point you in the right direction and experience business better than you have before. We're not a regular real estate company, we're a cool real estate company. Visit us on our websites, pinpointbrokers.net and pinpointfoundation.org, and check us out on our social media platforms. Pinpoint Foundation is always accepting donations through Zelle to Pinpoint Foundation or through mail-in checks. See you soon.
All right, you guys, we back from our commercial break here. Mr. Menifee again here. We speaking to Miss Chris, the entrepreneur and the owner of Daddy D'z Restaurant. We've been having a very, very interesting conversation. And what we left off is about her explaining about OCs and going into a bunch of different things. Basically about how she got into the business, how she started and everything. And we're going to pick up where we left off at. And as always, we always give a toast and a salute to our guests. Yeah. All right. So, Ms. Coker, where we left off, we was talking about basically oceans and everything. But we're gonna jump the ship about oceans, which because you gave a greater understanding to myself as well, right. All these years on how you got started. Tell me from now, by you owning Daddy D'z. Mm-hmm. Before we get to Daddy D'z, you open up on Mitchell Street. And it was a family business. Yeah. Your husband ran it, Charlo's.
Yes.
Tell us about where the name comes from, Charlo's, and then tell us. I know you had that also about 5 to 7 years.
Yes.
5 to 7 years, and the only reason you closed that is because they did something real slick. And how I know about that, because we represented you on trying to renegotiate the lease when the different owner purchased that building and everything over there. And basically was just cheating you and beating you out your money because you was a minority.
Of
And you
course.
speak a lot
Absolutely.
about minority.
Absolutely.
About black businesses and ownership. Tell us about Charlotte. First, tell us how you come up with the name. How y'all come up with the name, and give us a concept, because it was a great concept.
It was, and it's something I want to redo again. So, I have always loved cooking. I grew up in a family where I ate American food, Norwegian food, Nigerian food, mostly Nigerian food, and cooking is a passion. I don't cook as much as I used to now because I'm busy, but I love to cook. So I've always wanted to own a restaurant. So when I first came to Atlanta in the early 90s, there were a couple places that I had concepts for restaurants, and I would go to the banks and see if I could get funding, and they had good credit. And they never were interested.
Credit and money.
I had a little bit of cash, but not maybe as much as like a, corporation that would come in, of course, but as a young black woman, I had a substantial amount.
Right.
And they never were interested. And I would come in with a business plan, everything. And then 5 or 6 years later, I'd see my concept open up in a similar location. So for me, I got married, had kids, and my husband was also a really good cook. And he also wanted to own a restaurant. So we had a
I know.
Yeah, you know John.
Yeah. He ran my restaurant.
Exactly. So he wanted to do a Creole restaurant. And one thing about Creole food, or food from Louisiana, Mississippi, that area down the Gold Coast, or Gulf Coast as they call it, their food is very similar to African food. And you wouldn't know that if you weren't also eating African food. But I see the similarities. And so I love the food down there. And his family name is Charlotte on his mom's side.
Okay.
So when they arrived in Mississippi, they arrived as free blacks. And
They weren't no slaves?
No.
In Mississippi?
no,
God
not at
damn.
all. And one of the things I learned in my studies, because I was an English major with a business minor, and one of my senior thesis was on why African American literature should be included in the anthology. Which, when you're thinking about literature or English literature or American anthology of literature, or however you want to phrase it, that is works of literature that have everything to do with the history of America. Not history, but the writings of authors. African American literature was never included. When I was in college, I'm not going to say my age, Lord Jesus, but it wasn't included. So my senior thesis was based on...
you don't look your age, so.
Thank God, black on crack. So my thesis in college was on why African American literature should be included. And I went and read writings by slaves and non-slaves. And what people don't realize, the first blacks that come to this country weren't slaves. A lot of people don't know that.
I know that.
The first Africans, or people of black
They was the Moors.
descendancy, not just the Moors.
Yeah.
They weren't slaves. I mean, well, with Christopher Columbus, one of the ships was captained by a Moor. But you have so many families, the Smiths, out of South Carolina, you've got the blacks, you've got the Jacqueline Onassis comes from black people, Locklears, Heather Locklear, she comes from black people. She may look white, that motherfucker got black ancestry. Like, there are so many. If you go on PBS and you looked at blurred, I think it's blurred lines or blurred racial lines, you'll learn. Like, Queen Charlotte was black. Like, people, they don't want to give credence to where we have been and what we have done and what we have. Exactly. The first black senator, I think, was Henry. I think it was Henry Black. That was a descendant or an ancestor of Jacqueline Onassis. we don't realize just how much we've contributed. It wasn't until the hatred of those who were white and couldn't achieve what we were achieving, and they got angry, so they came in and burned our shit down and tore our shit up. And
you love Black history, though.
I do.
Yeah, because I was asking you about Charlotte.
We
Black
came,
history again.
I'm sorry. We came. Cradle Civilization came from us. So anyway, his family name was Charlo, and I was like, okay, how about Charlo's Creole Cafe? You know, because you want to think of something catchy that's going to pull people in. And it was doing really well. It was on Mitchell Street. The food was good.
Right across from your Federal Building.
Right.
What is that? Mitchell?
That's Mitchell and Spring.
Mitchell and Spring?
And Spring Street.
And Forsyth.
It's a concept that I want to do again because we did it authentically.
Right.
You know, from the camellia beans to the pressed French bread to the shrimp and the oysters being brought up from New Orleans every week, twice a week.
Right.
You know, we made sure that we had the freshest seafood. You know, we made sure that it was authentic to the area, whether it was the seafood, the sausage, the seasonings. It was coming from home.
So Charlo's derived from your husband's
origins, yes.
Origins, background.
Correct.
And so y'all call it Charlo's.
Charlo's.
Like I said, it was a great little nice space.
Mm-hmm.
I used to frequent there quite a bit. And right there on the corner of Mitchell. And then I actually did the Super Bowl event there.
You
as well.
did. And you remember how many problems they gave the fire marshal coming in there messing with
Yeah, they gave us a lot of issues.
That's what
because we did it real nice. We actually put that event together, Pinpoint Foundation. We put that event together in 1 week. It was a great success. However, we, thank God, we overcame the challenges with some neighbors over there calling the police on us, calling the fire marshals on us.
I didn't even really think it was the neighbors per se, because a lot of the neighbors were black. I think it was the new owners of the buildings.
No, we found out it was some of the neighbors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we found out it was some of the black neighbors at that. Yeah, so no,
okay,
it was.
We have to stop hating on each other. Don't be jealous if somebody else got what you ain't got. Just work hard and get it.
Because the reason why we found out it was them, because one of the fire marshals actually told us that the neighbors called them that we was overcrowded. So that's how we shared that with you. Because we did the event for the whole Super Bowl weekend. Leading up to that.
Jealousy is a real problem.
Jealousy kills our race, kills our business. We don't do business with each other.
You should be happy if you see your brother or sister doing better than you. Be happy and let that motivate you to do better. Period. Don't be jealous that this motherfucker got more than what you got.
Right.
Go get it, because you can. If you have the determination and the drive, you can go get whatever you want. I had cancer. So in the middle of only Charlotte's, I found out I had breast cancer.
Oh, okay. That's easy.
And I found out that it was really, really aggressive. So.
And what kind of breast cancer did you have?
So I had something called IDC, intraductal carcinoma. And so when we went and got the test done and found out, they sat me down and they were just like, look, you are HER3+, meaning it's tied to my estrogen. As you know, estrogen makes me a woman. Men have testosterone, I have estrogen. So mine was 3+. So I found out on March 18th, and they were like, we want you to come on in, we're going to talk to you, we're going to do a biopsy, we're going to talk to you about it. Then they were like, it's really aggressive, you need to do a mastectomy. No, they want to do a lumpectomy, and I said, nah, I ain't having no more kids, cut them off. My titty's trying to kill me, but I'm going to keep them for it. We're not going to cut little pieces out and hope that we got it all. We're just going to cut them off. Right. Breast cancer is something that black women are half as likely to get, but 3 times as likely to die.
Right. My mother my mother passed from cancer.
I loved your mama.
Thank you. She passed from cancer March 30th, 2017. And I can't never get the name. I always have to call my big sister.
And Junior too.
Right, my brother passed this past November.
Right.
I remember his cancer, it was lymph nodes. My mother was something with the eyes. It says a rare.
So here's the thing about cancer. Everybody has cancer in their body. Everybody. It's just that some of us, it flowers and grows, and some of it stays dormant. You never know what's going to flower and grow, but some of us are more prone to it growing, and you'll see that in certain families.
Right.
There's something that makes it activate. So wherever they find the cancer, that's what they call it. If they find it in your breast first, they're going to call it breast cancer. If they find it in your nuts first, it's going to be prostate cancer.
Well, they found it in my mother's eyes. They said it was a rare cancer, but because mostly white people catch that type of cancer. It's rarer for blacks, and they took out one eye. Not that we're gonna go back with you. They took one eye out, and then she later had what they call laser. No, this spray. They removed one of her eyes, and she was good. But then she had laser on her eye, laser on the eye, and once they did laser surgery, we think that's how the cancer came back, and they should have known that the cancer wasn't. That then that's what eventually caused her to pass. But she refused chemo, and then thank God for my two sisters, well, three of my sisters, but my oldest sister and my sister after me, Marilyn and Terry, they made sure our mama, we call her our mama.
So I'm gonna tell you like this.
She stayed with Marilyn when she went to hospital and everything, and she passed in the house amongst all of us. Cause the particular day she passed, me and my daughter went to Houston. My brother, and my other sisters, everybody was there, and she passed early that morning.
So I'm gonna tell you like
Cancer's
this.
very
They
beat it
call,
twice.
It is. I have, and I've been blessed, and that's because I love the Lord and I trust in God, and that's my real doctor. But I also laugh my way through because laughter really is the best medicine. I refuse to believe the bad in anything. I'm gonna always look for the good. But if you notice, they call it a medical practice. Now I come from parents who are doctors, a brother who's a doctor. I come from a long line of medical professionals. It's the practice of medicine because things are always evolving and changing. They're learning every day. So they don't always get things right. They're gonna try, but they don't always get things right. But as African Americans, black people in this country, we need to be very picky about who we pick as our doctors because some doctors don't come in with the Hippocratic oath on their mind. Some people don't take that serious about the job and about the money. Some people take it seriously where they understand that I'm going to do no harm and I'm actually going to do the best for my patient. As black people,
your father was a doctor, right?
Yes, he
and
was.
your mother.
And my mother,
Right.
and my brother, and my aunts and uncles, and there's plenty of us. Because with Africans, you're either doctor, lawyer, engineer. If you don't do any of those three, you're unsuccessful.
Right.
Right. So of course, when I didn't go get a doctor, my dad was destroyed. When I became a restaurant, it's like, oh Lord, the world is coming to an end, right? But it's good.
But finance, you gotta know that.
It was a master's though, wasn't enough.
Oh.
Because for Africans, they understand the world, the way to get out of poverty is always in education. Knowledge is power. See, we don't understand real poverty over here. We don't. See, we have fail-safes, we have food stamps, we have Section 8, we have shelters, we have the Cancer Society, or this society, or this aid, or this, or the, we can go buy clothes at, Goodwill and things like that. They don't have that shit in Africa. Your ass can't fucking pay for shit. You're not eating, you can't pay rent, you don't have a place to live. You can't pay school fees, your ass not going to school. There is no Medicaid. You get sick, you're gonna die because you can't pay for your medical bills. You're not getting help. So we don't understand the things that we have per se. So that was one of the things that my dad was frustrated about with African Americans because where he grew up, you had to pay for school. We have free school up until you
can take out loans and grants and all that.
Right. Well, they didn't have loans.
I'm talking over here.
Right over here. So you get free school up until you finish high school. Then after that, you got to figure out how to fund it. But if you go to community colleges and do well, you can get a scholarship. There's always a way to get an education in this country. But in our particular community, we're not talking to our kids about education. We're not talking to our kids about how to save. We don't
about credit.
About credit.
About all
the
that.
stock market. Stock market is legalized hustling. It's just like selling dope.
That
But we don't teach our kids that.
Well, bring me to this. We get off track again, but
We will. I mean, there's so many tangents I can go on.
No. Talk about the stock.
Yeah.
I put you in your first house.
He did.
This is the first woman that I know. This was the first woman that I know that you were the first woman.
I was playing penny stocks.
You were playing penny stocks, and you got into your house just off of the proceeds.
I took $1,200 and I turned it into $35,000.
Yeah. And you got into your first time.
In less than a month and a half on
off
penny
of
stocks.
penny stocks. So something she did was off of penny stocks, and I didn't know what penny stocks was. What the hell is penny stocks? I'm thinking it's a penny.
This is when I owned This is when I owned
Oshi. Yeah, you own
I would
Oshi.
sit in my office while my person was, taking like orders and bringing people out. I would sit in my office with my one-way mirror so I could see out, they couldn't see in, and I would play penny stock. I was day trading, but only on pennies. So I had bought something called Telly and something called Webvan. Now, y'all don't understand, Webvan is what Instacart is today. I bought that shit back in 1994.
What was the name of it again?
Webvan.
Telly.
Oh, Telly.
Telly and
Webvan.
Of a penny stocks.
I was paying like 10 cents a share.
So you've been playing the stocks back
I've been.
As a matter of fact, I think you gave me a top stock tip.
I told you to buy Ford when they first went down.
I bought Ford, and you told me to buy that. It was AirTran. Before AirTran, it was Value Jet.
Yep.
Yeah, I purchased Value Jet because I wasn't doing any stock back in the day. You know why?
So let me tell you, I bought. This is a sad story, and I'm at the point now where I can just be calm about it. So I am one of those people that bought Bitcoin when it first came out back in 2011, and that computer broke, threw away the computer, didn't keep track of the wallet, the string that goes, there's this long ass string that pertains to your wallet, your code or whatever. I wasn't thinking about that shit. I bought it because I was trying to do some shit, and I saw it and I was like, oh, I could buy $100 for like, I think I spent like $20 for $100 worth of Bitcoin. I mean, it probably was actually less than that. $100 worth of Bitcoin. Now at its height, that was worth $9.5 million. When it hit $200 a share, I was sick. When it hit $1,000 a share, I was fucking mad. And that shit.
And now it goes up, and it was at 50-some, 57, now it's down in the 30s.
I mean, regardless, that's still millions that I can't access because that shit is in the dump somewhere in Atlanta. Because I threw that shit away. I never thought it would ever get to that point. I emailed.
So you didn't cancel it out or nothing, huh?
No. If you don't have that strength, you can't do shit. There's nobody you can call. There's nobody you can recall it. None of that shit exists.
Wow, we need to go find that motherfucking computer.
You can't.
Yeah, we can.
I'm not digging through no 10 years of garbage to get the shit.
Oh yeah?
But it just goes to show you that we don't teach our children how to invest. So back in college, I bought in Home Depot. And when I don't remember how much I spent, but it was less than $1,000. When it hit $5,000, I sold, went to Jamaica.
So all this stock brought you into, from Charlo's, you went from Oshi's to working in corporate, from working in the corporate.
I bought stock in every company I worked for.
Right. And then
if I believe in that company, if I'm going to work for you, I believe in you. I'm going to buy stock in you.
We got stock in that. So Oshi, corporate. Corporate, you did a couple other businesses as well. And then Charlo's. And when we come back, we're going to go from Charlo's to go back to the penny stock up until Daddy D'z was very prosperous today. Because you was on the Today Show.
I was.
And they just did they give you a grant?
I got a grant of $40,000.
So we're going to go into that after this commercial break, you guys. After the commercial break. Hey, Pointe Podcast, we'll be right back at you.
Pinpoint Courier is a Georgia and Texas-based on-demand delivery service. We offer same-day, rush, and even direct drive delivery while guaranteeing top-notch, reliable, and quality service at the best competitive prices. Come try us out. Visit us at our website, pinpointcourier.com, or give us a call today for more information. Pinpoint, always pointing you in the right direction.
All right, you guys. Mr. Menifee back at you. Thank you for the commercial break. Hey, we got to get breaking down every now and then. There we go. All right, we left off talking to Miss Coker about stocks. We go from Oshi's, her owning a beauty salon, a beauty supply store back in the 1990s.
That's awesome.
To her going to corporate America, to her being understanding why she is the way she is, to her talking about how corporate America led you into why you still working, led you into owning Charlo's with your husband, and naming it after his heritage, Charlo's, to talking about penny stocks and This is one of my very first customers that actually closed on her home deal that I put her in. Customer and a friend, because we always did business together.
Yep.
She used penny stocks to close on her first house. And in our black community, I have never seen nobody do that. Me personally. I don't know if somebody else did it, but I have it. So somebody said, oh, I did it too. Okay, good motherfucker, I don't know. I just know she was first for me. You dig what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So we pick up where we left off talking about stocks.
Yes.
Talking about how you invested in Bitcoin, and we need to go into all the salvage yards and look for that goddamn computer.
I wish I could.
And then we talking about the different stocks that you're into now, because she's been into stocks since 1990.
I've
To
always
what-
been into stocks.
Right, to her. Now I want to talk about recently. Well, I want to talk about a few things. Getting into Daddy D'z. One of them we're going to talk about hiring. Because I know you have the same issue I have and everybody.
Yes.
From corporate
Hiring is
America down.
difficult.
And then let's jump right on into it. And finishing up with the stock, because that was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
From the stocks, you went back to
Corporate America.
Corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
From Charlotte's, you closed Charlotte's down. They did some real slimy, sneaky, greedy shit. You know, we was in that meeting. That
We
time.
had some interesting employees that caused some problems, yes.
Yeah, but not even about the employees, just about how they tricked you.
Oh, with
and
the management
paid-
company,
and
JLL,
Pinpoint
but not-
represented you.
which is weird. They have two of your initials, but yes, they did me dirty.
Yeah, remember we was in that meeting
Mhm.
and we told you not to pay.
They wanted the right people.
They wanted the right white people on Mitchell Street because they bought
Right.
that whole block up.
They said they wanted somebody who paid rent. I'm like, I pay y'all every month. Like,
Yeah, remember I took the check back.
And I gave him the check, but I was like,
And
no,
I
fuck
took
you,
it back.
go ahead.
I snatched it. I said, fuck them.
Nah, I don't want to have no bad nothing. I paid him.
And I snatched the check back.
You did, and I
And
gave
you
it
gave
back.
back, and then you regretted it. Because they
I
still
did.
went behind your back and sold the place,
Yep,
put
they
some
did.
white people in the location.
I should have brought the property when it was brought to my hands.
No,
but
what you should have did was sue their ass. It's statute of
I
limitations
still
over it.
can. No,
Yeah, that's what you need to do.
I'm still thinking about it.
So let's talk about that. Now, after the first council, God bless you, get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us where were you employed at? Because you wasn't owning Daddy D'z yet, right?
No, I was working at Home Depot.
So how did the second come back?
So
And how did that affect your marriage? If you feel it affected your marriage. The second time you noticed you had cancer.
One thing people don't know about cancer is that it's detrimental in some ways and it's beneficial in some ways. So, my husband, who I love with all my heart, that's my friend. That was my friend before I got cancer. Before we got together, he was one of my best friends, and he's a great person. He has so many wonderful qualities. What I recognize in a person and what a person recognizes in themselves is two different things. And we have to realize that. We can't hold people to our standards.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you
Paul,
do that, you'll always be
Paul, Paul,
disappointed.
Pour me a good
A
old
person has to reach their own growth in their own timeline. So, like I said, my husband, I love him dearly. Look at you pouring the liquor out the ass.
Oh, this tequila out the
It's 'cause
ass
you're
of a bull.
pouring it out the ass.
No, this
Asshole.
is. Let me tell you, this is my
Asshole.
good. Let me tell you something.
I
When
love
you're a
you,
good
but you
person.
know you an asshole.
No.
It's
Let me
gonna
tell you
work out.
something. This
That was
person,
such a, whoever gave me
First
that
of
was
all,
the
I'm
bomb.
telling
They
you-
knew exactly what the fuck they was doing.
first of all, let me tell you again. My great staff. That's why I love feasting with staff.
Your staff.
They gave me this for
Right.
my birthday.
I will give you
And they say I have everything.
You know what?
So they
no,
bought
we're going
this.
to turn it this way so everybody can see that.
motherfucker.
Move your
There you
hands,
go. There you go. That
There we
woman
go.
shit.
We want everybody. Really? Don't start that shit. Don't start that shit.
You been a
We
goddamn
want
bully.
everybody to see that shit. I'm a bully just like you.
Yeah, I want them to see my great gift I
So-
got. This is tequila, by the way.
We gonna
It's
turn
bull.
we gonna turn the bull so they can see the whole bull and see that the liquor comes out the ass for assholes.
Oh Lord have mercy. The liquor don't come out the ass.
Okay, so let me go
my
back.
shit alone.
Let me go back. So cancer is something that it's hard for anybody to deal with. You can either rise to the occasion or it's gonna be hard for you. So when I went to my oncologist and I told her that, we're having troubles in our marriage, she was like, unfortunately, Chris, this is common. 50% of marriages break up behind cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody.
50%.
50%.
When people catch cancer, they leave.
Exactly.
Wow, that's deep.
people don't, not that they leave, but they cheat.
Okay.
And
But your husband had what? Cancer? He
had cancer too. I'm just not part of that 50%. I'm part of the other.
So you didn't cheat on your husband? When you
I don't cheat.
Okay.
I don't come from that mentality.
You gonna get the dog and
If I'm fucking you, I'm fucking you. If I decide to fuck somebody else, I'm not fucking you no more. It's pretty much that simple.
Okay, I can dig that, but you ain't smashing no men on my shit. Okay, but you can try. The wheel smash with me.
Maybe I'm just a little bit. I'm my father's daughter, so I do have a very kind of personality, and it's hard. Everybody can't deal with it. I'm 100 miles per hour, and it's not for everybody. Maybe 200.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You like what's on the dash of one of the race cars?
Oh, I'll run that bitch to the red line.
Okay.
Which is why I've had my license suspended in 5 states.
Right.
However.
Wow. So don't ride with her.
That it's not that you can't ride with me. I just get tickets. I've been good about that though. I haven't had a super speeder in over a year. 2 years.
Wow, that's real fucking good.
So anyway, like I was saying, it is very hard for people to get through cancer. So we have to understand that when we have cancer, we're looking at it from a personal aspect. Like it's hard for us. It's a whole nother beast when the person that you love may die. So when my husband had cancer, we knew that his was encapsulated, it was going to go away, it was going to take care of it. When I had cancer, mine was aggressive, it was spreading, it was infiltrating, and it was no fucking joke. And it came back. It's hard to imagine that the person that you love may be gone. I have no doubts that he loved me. I know he loved me.
So you're not trying to secretly say he cheated on you because he thought you was dying, right?
No, I think he cheated on me because he just needed somebody to validate him. Because I wasn't physically or mentally or emotionally able. I mean, I think there were some insecurities within him that he had to deal with, but I couldn't be there the way he needed me, and I couldn't. And that's not to say that he was a weak person or a selfish person. That's just to say that cancer is a beast that you're not prepared for until you deal with it. There are needs that every person has.
Right.
Every person has needs, and every person's needs are different. Some people need sex every day. Some people need sex once a week. Some people need to be told that they're beautiful every day. Some people need to be told that you love them every day. Some people just need space. Everybody is different. But the beast of cancer comes in and it affects the other person's needs.
So you're not trying to say he went out and fucked because he needed it and you had cancer?
I mean, he may have needed some pussy. I don't know.
Oh, okay, we don't be doing
I
all
wasn't
that.
fucking him, so I mean, I'm sick.
We ain't doing no male bashing on this.
I mean, I'm not going to male bash him because I don't know what was going on within his heart, within his mind. I'm not in his body.
Right. So when you caught cancer again,
when I caught cancer the first time, it was fucked up. It was bad. You know, I was bald. I looked like a fucking Martian. I had no eyebrows, no hair. Now, I'm not going to be mad. I didn't have to shave shit, so I wasn't salty about that because that was a blessing.
Right.
But when I caught cancer the second time, it was real scary. It was scary the first time, but it was real scary the second time.
Right.
Because when he had cancer, it was encapsulated. They just took it out and he was good to go. When I had cancer, I had to have chemo. I had to have radiation. And then it came back and I had to have surgery. And
what was the name of this cancer?
I had breast cancer, endometrial carcinoma. And for all women of color, you know, they have raised the age of where they check for breast cancer.
Why do you think that?
Because they want us to die. What the fuck?
Because they want you to die.
Hell yeah. They don't want us. Let me explain something.
Stop with black folks again.
Women of color have become the most educated
I gotta put
group.
your hand up. We're back on black power right now?
Amen.
All right, black power. Put your hand up.
Women of color.
Some kind of way, we on business, but she gonna kick it into the
I am, goddammit.
Black
I
power.
am. Oh, fine.
Black power.
I don't, you know. But women of color are the most educated group in this country. We are getting
BPBB.
We are
Black
that's a boss
Power.
bitch.
BB.
That's
What?
right, Black Power boss bitch. we can make women of color. I don't care how you make it, but women of color are graduating from college, getting master's degrees, and starting businesses at a higher level than any other ethnic, racial, gender group, gender class in this country. That scares white, fragile men. And yes, I'm talking to you, Mitch McConnells and y'all bitch ass motherfuckers out there.
Okay then.
Because that's who they are. They some bitch ass niggas.
Right.
I'm sorry.
They niggas?
Yeah, because to me,
Bitch ass white folk, bitch ass niggas.
so I just look at. So when I grew up, nigga was a lazy, shiftless person. So I consider.
Nigga, I grew up. Nigga was. I was taught.
We weren't. It wasn't a term of endearment. When we've switched it because we had to take power over it. But
Right.
back when I'm old. Back when I grew up, Mitch McConnell could have been a nigga. Nigga. He could have been, because he's a lazy, shiftless motherfucker not doing shit. Fuck that bitch. And if I could see him, I'd spit in his fucking face. And I mean that shit. And I'll carry that charge, that $250 charge.
I think
And there
that
might be
Billy
some
boy, he
progress-
is a congressman.
Fuck that bitch.
Okay. Alrighty.
Fuck him, Tim Ryan, but Tim Ryan knew when to get out. There's all Jim Jordan, fucking pedophile. You know, Ted Cruz, who let motherfuckers talk about his wife being, she is ugly though. Trump wasn't wrong. I don't like Trump. But, you know, talk about his dad killed JFK. Like, there's a whole bunch of bitch ass motherfuckers in Congress.
Wow. Pinpoint podcast, uncensored, baby.
I mean, I'm gonna call it. Like, we don't realize how important our vote is, and I need y'all motherfuckers to understand. Like, it's not the presidential vote that's important. Goddamn it, vote in the midterm. Because the motherfuckers who decide, excuse my language, but I curse a lot, and the example of a person who curses in context and who knows how to curse well is intelligence, not stupidity. So I need y'all dumb ass motherfuckers, and I love y'all because y'all my people. The presidential election is not the important one. He's really a figurehead. It's the motherfuckers that go into Congress. It's the motherfuckers that become judges. It's the motherfuckers who become state house legislators. They control your future. That's the fucking vote that counts. Get them bitches out of office. Then the motherfuckers we gotta go after. And when people realize that, there'll be a difference. And I'm not trying to be crass. I'm crass. I cuss. I've been paying. When I was in third grade, I had to pay nickels for cussing. So that tells you how old I am.
She's an educated cursor though.
I am. We need to understand that who we vote in matters. We go to the polls and just pick the people that we done seen on TV. Them the motherfuckers who got the money to pay for ads. But they might not be the motherfuckers that actually mean us well. Period. So you need to understand who you're voting in for your local judges, your local mayors, your local fucking water commissioners, because look at Flint, Michigan, and water fucking killed them people.
Oh, we gonna get like this cancer shit?
It could. I mean, we could. We really could. So you need to pay attention to who you vote into power. Voting is not just a right; it's a responsibility.
That's right, because a lot of people fought and died for the vote, and I hate when people talking about our black people.
So I need people
say they don't care about voting.
I need black people to understand that they didn't fucking come up with "we gonna take your vote if you got a felony" because they didn't want people to vote because they made a mistake. They wanted niggas not to vote, black niggas not to vote. Period.
Black people. Period.
Right. They want us not to vote. I know.
And real prison reform. You know what I say what real prison reform is? Now, this is what I say about politicians. Everybody start talking about when it's time to vote or how they going to do a prison reform. And then we're going to get back to the business. But prison reform, you want to get down on your snippet.
Remember back in the day when you went to prison, they would let you get a college degree? They stopped that shit because niggas was getting educated. Remember back in the day, you could go to you would get in trouble, and they give you a choice between the military and jail. They took that away because niggas was going to the military. They don't want black people to get ahead. Stop playing into their bullshit.
But here's what I say. What real prison reform ain't gonna want. That's best.
Am I the angry black woman?
No, you're not. No,
I'm the determined black woman.
You're the educated, determined,
I'm a boss bitch, determined.
Okay.
I don't dislike white people. I'm half white. I would never negate that half of me. There are white people that I love.
But I don't think
I don't like racist, selfish people, and that comes in all. Well, black people can't be racist because we don't control shit in this country. But I don't like hatred. I don't care where it comes from.
Let me tell you what real prison reform is in my book, and I always talk about this. Real prison reform is not you amending the laws that was already used against the black folks and
unfair. Oh, you mean like when they called Bill Clinton the first black president, but he locked most of us up?
Yeah,
like
a lot of shit. The real prison reform. Real prison reform is when somebody actually goes to jail and does their time. When they come home, they are restored all their rights. Exactly. No politician, no presidential candidate or president, no Congress.
Because they know that the motherfucker that's returned to society is
going
to vote for them.
No Congress, no senator, no nothing. None of them talk about that. They always talking about the laws that their predecessors already enacted, voted upon. But real prison reform is what I feel like if we're going to get over there. Black folk need to vote for and get the people that you put in power to say, hey, we're going to do a real prison reform. When you go to jail, whatever that crime it is, if we release you or when you are released, you will not have to be accountable and held accountable for it again.
No, that's not what prison reform is.
I'm saying that's real prison reform.
No, prison reform reduces recidivism.
No. How do you reduce recidivism? By not keep reconvicting the person.
No, you're right.
Resentencing the person of the same crime.
You're right.
And that's what a lot of people do. So when
when
they come home, when someone comes home from being incarcerated, what happens is when they come home from being incarcerated, they gotta fill out an application to get an apartment. Now the apartment don't want to let you in. Right. Then they gotta fill out an application for a job. Now the job don't want to hire you. Then they gotta fill out an application for this because that little box always asking you for every goddamn thing. Have you been incarcerated? But if you already done your time for whatever crime,
no, I agree.
It should not matter. You should get rid of it. So real prison reform, to me, what I say they should fight for is restoring one's right when they are come home and they have completed their full sentence that was handed down to them. Stop.
I agree with that.
When you restore your rights, guess what happens? Then the person will have a chance to do something right and not be forced into the crime because you not giving them hope or opportunity. Because every corner they turn, you got a roadblock about your past.
So that's real. I agree with you. So that's one thing I do with Daddy D'z. I don't give a fuck what you did in your past. I don't ask you.
Right.
Because everybody deserves a second chance.
So you feeling free?
I am. I don't give a fuck if you have, I don't care if you have a felony. Because I judge you on how you react with me in that interview. I judge you as a man. And I agree. Real prison reform is once you've served your debts in society, you've served your debt.
And you should be restored
and
all your rights.
Yes, voting rights.
All your rights.
To own a gun. Well, okay. There are certain crimes where I feel like you shouldn't be. Child molestation and rape.
Yeah, of course.
I don't feel like you should be restored your rights.
Pedophiles.
Your rights. And I think there should be on a case-by-case basis by citizen review on what type of murder you commit. If I killed you because you were attacking my kids, I need all my rights. If I killed you because you were stealing my car, I didn't have to kill you for that. No, I didn't have to kill you for it. It's a fucking car. It's a car. It's a material.
But it depends on how you killed them.
It depends on what is that.
Because you could have walked into the situation.
Everything is not black and white, and that's the problem that I have with the law. The law should be a living, breathing thing. It should adjust with every situation. It should grow just like it does from century to century. I mean, if we go by the law based on what they had figured out in 1776, should be really fucked up. We was 3/5 of human. I know I'm a full fucking human. I bleed.
Right now they say we still are. They treat. They don't say it, but they treat us like we 3/5.
So this is one of the things that disheartens me because I'll sometimes talk to young black men, young black women, and they will tell me, oh, I'm not voting in this election. And I've voted since I turned 18 because I understand the power of my vote.
Right.
I understand that one vote could really make a difference. I mean, we've seen elections turn over 200 votes in this particular county over
Well, we
here.
just seen this election turn.
Well, this was an $8
because of
million
Georgia.
difference, but there was
I'm
only
talking
a
about
few
because of
thousand.
Georgia.
There was only a few thousand, or maybe it was a few hundred in Georgia.
But it don't matter. It
look at them
turned
trying
switching from red to blue.
We purple now, goddamn it. And I would love if every state was purple because we need a two-party system. We need to hear the haves. No, let me change that. We need to hear the yeses and the nos and let them argue it up so we can have a compromise because everybody doesn't have the same viewpoint. I don't expect everybody to agree with me.
Right.
But we need to make life more fair for everybody. This country has become less equitable for everybody in the system. And that's because we have not paid attention to where our vote goes and not paid attention to where we spend our disposable dollars and continue to just be comfortable. If you are complacent with mediocrity, don't fucking complain when shit is fucked up. It's that simple. I'm an activist. I may not be out there on the front lines, but I will say some shit. And I don't really I don't give a fuck about whether I hurt your feelings. I care about what's right and wrong. So if I know that you're a racist, I want you out of Mitch McConnell. I want that bitch out of office. Motherfucker. I feel like if you are over 65, your ass shouldn't even be fucking in Congress, in Senate, because you old and you don't give a fuck and the world doesn't belong to you
Set in your
anymore.
ways.
And you worried about, you're not even caring about it. See, you think about your children, but you're not thinking about your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren. Fuck Mitch turtle ass bitch. Fuck you. Anyway.
Okay.
I feel like once you get over 60, 65, you shouldn't be able to run for office. Simply because what's going on in the world doesn't really affect you. As African Americans, American Indians, Native Americans, Hispanic folk, whatever racial identity you have, your vote matters. And it's not the presidential election, it is the midterms. It is the local elections. It is the elections that affect you. You don't vote for just the president and then mark a whole bunch of shit on your ballot. Like, study who you're going to vote for. Look at what their policies are. You don't have to have a college education to understand that this motherfucker don't mean no good to me. We have watched every law change that has benefited black people.
That has?
That has. Like I said, when we were in high school, because we all when we were in high school, remember, let's say we got arrested for some dumb shit.
Right.
But it might have been a felony. We had a choice. You can go to the military, you can go to jail.
They took that away.
A lot of people was going to the military, and it was making successful black men and women. Not very many women, because we really weren't getting arrested like that. Because at that time it was, oh, women can't commit crimes. Well, women can. Gender doesn't make a difference on whether or not you can make a mistake. And in many cases, a crime is a mistake. You learn as you get older. As your brain matures, you learn. So they were giving us an opportunity to change ourselves, but the sentencing laws came up with Bill Clinton. You want to call him the first black? Fuck Bill Clinton. I'm not saying I wouldn't vote for his wife, because she'd been better. Anything would have been better than Trump. I know you don't feel that way, but
what you trying to say?
I'm trying to say you said Trump was making you money. Fuck that bitch. I don't like that. Fuck you, Trump. And I would spit in your face if I saw it. Because these are racist ass
Pointe Podcast. Us fucking sisters.
He's a little dick ass bitch ass motherfucker.
Who, Trump?
Yes.
Well, you know, I don't get into politics or who I vote for.
No, that's just the way I can insult him. But
right.
I personally, I mean, you could say Trump did good things for corporate America. Trump didn't do shit. He wasn't smart enough. Sorry, I'm not gonna give him that terminology. The motherfucker's stupid. He's stupid. When he went to work, it wasn't that smart. I know people who know him. I remember going to the club in New York and he was kicking the puppy and all of us. I'm dead. Oh, Jesus. But Trump, when the white people didn't accept him, he was kicking with us. Back then, he was actually halfway decent, but he's a fucked up motherfucker. Fuck him.
Well, I ain't gonna go into all that. I ain't gonna say I agree or disagree. How about that?
I'm just telling you.
But we gonna talk about you going the thing. Cause I don't get into politics of who I vote for. Alright? So
we can agree. I don't give a fuck. I'll be honest with you. I don't care who you vote for. I just care what you vote for.
I would never say who I voted for.
I mean, you don't
and that's
have
how
to.
I feel like every man and woman should be, but they can do what they want and say who they voted for.
Everybody should be able to vote for who they want to vote for, but just vote.
Yeah,
that's all I ask. Just vote.
I will vote.
You know, I need our young men who are out there hustling. There are other ways that you can hustle and make the same amount of money. The stock market gives you that opportunity. The stock market has always been legal.
We're going to have her back on a totally different show, Uncensored, because I want to get to her, because she going to militate in a minute. Alright? But
I can't help it. I want to see a civilized, equal world, because if you take the
shit ain't happening.
If you take the skin
I want her to tell y'all how
she got built up.
I want her to build up and tell y'all how she built up to all the Daddy D'z. One of the
I'll tell you.
Hold on, we're gonna get there. Cause you done fucked all the rest of the shit up on the militant shit. But that's cool. So what we want to talk
about. Am I that militant?
Yes. Yes. But ain't nothing wrong
with that. But the thing is, I love my white brothers and sisters.
Hey, listen,
I love my black brothers.
Listen.
I love everybody.
One thing we know about your militant, it ain't on you, it's in you. And when it's in you, it's truth. When it's on you, that shit washes off because you fake. Your ass ain't faking about it. If it ain't on you, it's in you, and it's in you. But let's talk about go back with your husband that you feel like didn't support you. However, you counsel the second time. And when you called it the second time,
I didn't feel like he disappointed me. I just feel like it was more than he was able to handle.
Right.
And I get that because it was a serious illness. You know, it changes everything for the kids, for the marriage.
So it brings you up. God bless you.
Oh, the Lord is amazing.
He's amazing.
He
got you through counsel the second time.
He did.
And then all of a sudden you became this Chris that I met back in when you was on the oceans. And
I've never changed.
You never changed. I say you became back, meaning you brought your hustle back in.
I did.
You gotta let me complete my shit. You became back, and you got. It's our show. We on this. When you came back, you started doing the thing that you used to do when I met you. You went back to that hustle, that beast inside you, to where nothing stopped you from getting to where you're trying to go. And then you told me, Jay, you remember you called me before you bought it. I'm thinking about buying this restaurant. I need your opinion on this. Mm-hmm. They don't own the motherfucking building, but it's been around this and this. And I would kind of say, well, damn, Chris, they don't own the building. Let's look at the lease, because I always go back into business mode.
Right.
Let's look at the fucking lease and make sure the lease is structured right, where they don't try to trick you out of it. Mm-hmm. Then you end up buying it and said, I bought it, and it's been a success then. I mean, of course, like every business.
I mean, I'd rather own the property, but
you went into it and you survived and weathered the storm. And to where you at now, you got the Today Show to give you a grant for $40,000.
And that came from
that came from TV for last week for that, right?
Right.
So tell us how you get into that without no militant shit coming into it.
I'm sorry.
Fucking no Congress, fucking no citizens, fucking no presidents.
But I still say fuck Mitch McConnell.
Okay, well I can dig that. Haters, I dig that like the grave. But I just want you to tell them the success of how you, God bless you, to go through the difficulties of 2 cancers, go through the difficulties of whatever your trials and tribulations was through your marriage, and still persevere to where you are today. To get back that vibrant Chris that I met back in 1993, 94.
So, you know, you always
1900.
I'm gonna fuck you up. So, you always lose a little bit of yourself in a marriage if you're not paying attention. It's normal.
No militant shit.
No militant shit.
Alright.
So,
when
I got sick, I realized that I needed to make sure my children were always okay. And being the mother of a child with Down syndrome, I mean, that's some real shit. You know, being a mother of a special needs child, being a mother of a child is a whole different path. Because you're responsible for shaping and creating somebody and making them grow to a certain level.
Fathers are too now.
No, there's a whole different level though.
Okay.
Fathers have a role, separate but equal, but mothers have a different role. And we look at it from a different standpoint than you do because we have to nurture, grow. It's just a different role. And feminists will make it angry with me. There's a separate but equal role but between men and women.
And equal.
Right, there is. There's a role that you play and there's a role that I play.
All y'all came from a nutsack.
I came from God.
You came from God put you in a nutsack.
Stop, because you finna get the militant again. Don't take me there. I said separate but equal.
I said equal, but the world
you
even knows
still trying
every man and woman came from a sweaty ass balls and a feel good nut.
We did not come from. We came from God. Shut up.
God put you in the nutsacks. And you had to find a million motherfuckers to come
No,
out.
the Bible said a rib on it. Say shit about no nutsack. Shut the fuck up.
The Bible said y'all came from the real. Everybody else came from the nutsack.
And no, I came from the coochie. Like, listen.
No, it was.
So you gave birth out your nutsack.
I was
a child came out your. Do you spread your legs and a child came out?
No, it came out my nutsack. It was a feel good nut.
Shut the fuck up.
Every child born, baby, all our children,
we get real
feel good nuts.
We get real crass.
Every child was a feel good nut.
That's that goddamn liquor. That's that liquor out there. Ass the cat. You know, for every Christian that's watching me, I'm sorry.
I ain't no goddamn Christian. I ain't a Christian.
I'm a Christian.
No, I believe in God.
I do too.
I don't believe in no religion. But however,
you're right.
Every human
I believe in a high.
Okay, I want you to go to just a third.
So
we talking the man. You ain't gotta feel. The man felt good when he nut. That's why I say he was a feel good nut. She was a feel good nut.
And he was a lackluster nut.
It don't matter. My dad felt good when he spit my ass out.
Like I was saying.
Man,
Where was I at before he brought this dumb shit up? See, you fucking up my train of thought. Anyway, I realized that when I had cancer, I was working for corporate America. And granted, I had disability. Disability only lasts for so long. Cancer is a real disease, and I didn't know if it was going to come back. I have a child with Down syndrome, and I have older children, and I've always tried to impart on all of them.
Yeah, 3 kids.
I have 3. And I have several surrogate children. I love all kids. I just love kids because you get to watch them grow. You can impart wisdom.
I'm supposed to be the goddaddy of a couple of other kids.
You are. Except for when you make me mad. But
see, that's
I brought you back. Yeah, I brought you back.
I ain't never left. Cause your husband made sure I ain't never left. How about that?
You're right. You're right.
God damn it.
You know that's that male bonding bullshit because y'all lie together.
You're right.
But the thing is that you know, for me as a woman, and it's not about being a black woman, you know, mixed woman, whatever. It's just about the fact that as a woman, I nurture everything that I see. I'm gonna always try and help whoever. I don't give a fuck about color. I really don't. But if you're a racist, I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna talk shit about you. But I don't care about what color you are. My mom is white. My daddy's African. My mom's Norwegian. That's about as diverse as you can get.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care. about the color of your skin. I care about the content of your character. So for me, when I look at young people, I see somebody that I can grow and help nurture and point in the right direction. And I realized that I wanted to know that my children would always be okay if I didn't make it. Because
And that's how you got the Daddy D'z?
that is. I mean, I knew that the
I know that you help a lot of people.
I'm not on this earth to do anything else other than to help my brothers and sisters.
Right.
And I don't mean black, I mean all brothers and sisters grow and help. If I'm not helping people, I'm not doing the job that God put me here to do.
Right.
Period.
How did you come into Daddy D'z?
So when I said when I got sick, I found out Daddy D'z was for sale, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen with the cancer. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it. It kept coming back. It was very aggressive, and I just really didn't know if I was going to beat it. And I wanted to make sure my kids were always okay. I wanted a legacy, something was going to generate income other than a Social Security check that could help them pay for college, help them have a home to live in, all of that. I have life insurance. I mean, I have insurance on everything. I'm overinsured probably. But I wanted to make sure that my kids would be okay. And one thing in the black community and the people of color community, black, Spanish, whatever, we don't understand insurance or legacies because we don't have generational wealth.
Right.
I wanted to make sure my kids were okay even if I wasn't here. They may not be okay emotionally, but financially I was going to make sure that they could at least have a roof over their heads, food in their stomach, take care of the bills, and go to school. Daddy D'z was the first barbecue place I'd ever ate when I came to Atlanta. And when I went in, I was like, well, the ribs are good. I didn't like the sides. There was no flavor. Oh, Lord. Excuse me, Ron. You know I love you, but there was no flavor. And that was in 1992.
1992.
I'm not going to put the 100 on the shot.
Put the shit what I want.
Anyway,
1900.
as the years went by, I ended up having two very good friends that worked there. And I said, if he ever sell that motherfucker, tell me, right? Because that makes sense. Because I recognize a good brand. One thing about me, I'm a consumer. I am a shopper, consumer, spend money, whatever. I'm frivolous to a certain extent. So I gravitate towards things that I know consumers will like. I know what will make it what won't. Maybe it's an innate business knowledge in me. Maybe it's something I learned when going through my business classes. I don't know. But Daddy D'z had a very successful brand from what I could tell, and it was the location was key. That's really the most important part, the location. Because that brings the people in and they taste your food if they like it, they'll stay. So I said, if you ever sell it, let me know. When I got sick, I found out it was for sale, and I said, I want it. There were some other people bidding on it. I wasn't the only person. There was an East Indian, so we're talking about Indian. Because people see it here, Indian, they think Native American or whatever. You have to designate. So we're talking about East Indian, and then there was a group of 2 white lawyers. And all of us put our bid in. I threw my bid came in last. And I put my bid in, and one of the things that we brought up our little proposal, 2-3 pages. One of the things I did was I let them know if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Mm-hmm. So I really didn't see too much that I wanted to change. I didn't want to get rid of the people that were there. I didn't want to change the menu. It's been there for at this point, it's been there for 26 years.
You just wanted to add some flavor.
I just wanted to add some flavor. Some black ones. Some seasoning, a little bit of spice.
Put some seasoning to the macaroni.
Yes.
Some spice to the beans.
And the collard. I had to make the red beans and rice right. One thing Ron never fucked up was the cooking of the meat. And if people don't understand, there's a lot of barbecue places out there. They have this thing called Southern Pride. It is a rotisserie. It's a rotisserie thing. Basically you stick your meat in there and it just kind of spins it around and it cooks it for you.
Well, Chef JL is the best in the world.
Anyway, we don't.
Tell me, I said Chef JL.
You cook when you're not a chef. You just like to cook.
I don't cook.
Yeah, that's right.
Chef JL cooks.
Mm-hmm.
He burns.
Okay. You do your thing. I've never
do my thing.
I've never just
Chef
like
JL do his
I've
thing.
never just liked the food, so we're good.
Chef JL do his thing.
So one thing people don't understand
Don't
is
reference me as him.
there's barbecue and there's barbecue, right? There's the barbecue that's commercial. They boil it. That's sacrilege. It's blasphemy on barbecue. Then there's barbecue where they put it in the Southern Pride and they let it rotisserie and they ain't put no effort into it. Daddy D'z.
Chef JL's.
Shut up. We put our meat in that pit. We have concrete pits. We have hickory that goes inside. We monitor our meat. We flip that shit. We put our seasoning on there.
You season that shit.
If we don't pay attention, that bitch catches on fire. We gotta start all over. Ain't no rotisserie, even smoking, none of that shit. Like, we do our shit the old-fashioned way by hand. Period. Our sides made by. What cracks me up is when a customer gets mad, maybe they took too long to get their food, because we're short-staffed right now, and sometimes a lot of tickets come in, and we try to time the tickets right, but it's hard because we write our tickets the old-fashioned way. We make everything first come, first serve. I don't care if you came on the phone, on the internet, or you walked in. Whoever's ticket came in first, that's the ticket that gets made first.
That's respect.
I mean, it is what it is. First come, first serve. And sometimes we may not, we might have 25 tickets that came in at one time, and 3 people took these tickets split between 2. We not realize that we got that many tickets, so we might be at 30 minutes behind what we told you. But all of our food is cooked old-fashioned way. We soak our red beans, we soak our black beans, we cut our potatoes up. We have to, nobody, and I'll be honest, the most hated job in our restaurant is to sit there and skin the potatoes. What cracks me up is when motherfuckers get mad, and God forbid it's always my people, that want to say, add some Kraft macaroni. Bitch, ain't no Kraft macaroni. It ain't no fucking canned yams. We cut them bitches up. We sit there and skin them yams, and nobody likes doing it, but we cut them bitches up, brown sugar, nutmeg, and whatever else we put in there. The other thing I do, I'm like Paula Deen. I use real butter and everything.
Paula Deen?
Everything. She white, but she like butter.
Right.
Butter adds a certain flavor. I'm sure there's somebody else. I put butter in everything. Real butter.
You could have said
not
margarine.
She white too. What the fuck I gotta do with anything? That bitch probably use I'm like Martha Stewart. I don't give a fuck if she smoke weed with Snoop. What the fuck I gotta do with anything?
Yeah, I'll just say some cool
She don't
shit.
put no seasoning in that. She make that bougie shit. I like that. Martha Stewart. Also, she got this credence because she went to prison. Man, fuck her. She
Okay.
right.
About off the ability to back to the Daddy D'z.
Anyway.
Back to Daddy D'z.
Now, Paula Deen do some fucked up shit, but that bitch can cook. So, we use butter and everything. We're natural seasoning.
So when you could reference all y'all women as bitches, the men can't, cause you can say y'all some boss bitches.
We some boss bitches.
But we can't say that.
Oh, I can be a bitch. You piss me off, I can be a bitch. But if you call me a bitch, I'm gonna go in your mouth. It is what it is.
We try to get a concept of who can say bitch.
No.
So it's okay, y'all say bitch.
Know where you're allowed to be.
So know our place.
There you go. Everybody has their place in this world. Everybody has their place in this world.
Woman don't have their place. Man have their place.
We all have our place.
But with the bitch word, only the man have their place.
Don't call us a bitch.
But the women can say bitch like the man can say nigga, but the white man can't say nigga, but the black man can say nigga.
Let me break this down for you. White men cannot say nigger, period, point blank, period, ever, unless they want their teeth knocked out, period, point blank.
But what if they knock the black man teeth out after they call him a nigga and the black man think they can whoop the white man?
If he have a badge on because he
I ain't talking no badges.
Because you know that police shit.
We talking about straight.
Coming up short
we
with
talking about
straight. The street
shit.
shit. Fucking beat his ass.
Okay.
Period.
What if you get your ass beat?
Then you need to go to the gym and
You
work on your shit. You can't always beat everybody, but you need to take your ass back to the gym and work it out.
Okay, we'll say that shit. So back to the boss bitch shit. Women can say I'm a boss bitch.
Men should never call a woman a bitch. We have a different understanding of what bitch means. When I say I'm a boss bitch, I mean I had a white woman call and complain because I simply said, I'm not happy about A, B, C, and D. Oh my God, I'm attacking you. No, I'm not attacking you. Like, I don't hold you personally responsible. I'm just expressing to you what I'm not happy about. She felt attacked, and I'm like, that's some real racist shit. I have black friends. That's the first thing I want to holler out. I got black friends. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that'd be the first bullshit.
Like, shut
I got black friends too.
And I have white friends. I have Spanish friends. I have Vietnamese friends. I got Korean. I don't care what
But
color
you know what the
But
word
think about the
friend-
shit that comes out your fucking mouth.
But you know what a friend is?
Yeah.
Do your white friends, Vietnamese friends, Asian friends get invited to the dinner table? Because I don't.
There are some of them that do. So
Because if they don't get invited to your dinner table,
I got associates. I got some associates and some friends. But no, there are some that do. I mean, I'm half white. I have family members that grew up racist.
All I've been knowing you, I ain't seen no motherfucking body white except for with
Motherfuckers
Brian.
live
What's
too
his
far
name?
away.
No one. What's called white
What?
name? Worked at Waffle House. Waffle House.
Oh, Lisa?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
my only white friend I've seen over there.
Only. That's a valid point.
Hi, my name is Erica O'Neill, and I'm with Pinpoint Brokers. My role here at Pinpoint Brokers is to point you in the right direction for all of your commercial real estate needs. So whether you need help obtaining a business loan or you need to find tenants for your vacant commercial space, Pinpoint can point you in the right direction. Come visit us at pinpointbrokers.net or on Instagram at Pinpoint Brokers. See you soon.
See?
Might need to reevaluate some things.
Yeah. See, people quick to say they got black friends.
No,
white
but
friends,
now,
then you ask them, do they need at your motherfucking dinner table?
but I will say that, I'm not from Atlanta. So therefore, a lot of my white friends still live in Maryland, Chicago.
Nigga.
No,
you
for
been
real,
in Atlanta
Iowa.
since 1990.
But they don't live here, so I can't invite them to a table that
But
ain't nowhere
a
nearby.
friend gonna get on the plane, drive the car to come to the table.
Not necessarily. It depends on
That's
what
a
financial
fucking
background.
Saturday.
Them
All
motherfuckers-
mine have.
Them motherfuckers don't have the same.
All
background.
mine have. If I call them a model, I'm gonna get on a plane or drive to go to their table and
I'm
vice
not buying
versa.
nobody no goddamn plane ticket unless I'm going out the country.
Whether you buy it or not, they can buy their own.
Huh?
They can buy their own.
I could. Or maybe they have something else. I don't have a lot of functions like you do.
See, here's the thing.
I talk to my friends over the phone,
No, here's the
Facebook,
thing.
whatever.
Here's the
I
thing.
still love 'em.
I like that. But here's the thing. When people say they got friends, do you invite that motherfucker to your dinner table?
I mean, I've
Or do
had.
they invite you to their dinner table? If they don't and they hang around you saying we friends, both of y'all full of shit if you carrying on.
No, some
because
people.
a real friend
Some people
gonna
are
invite
shit.
go get invited on a regular to the dinner table. Your children are gonna know them. Their children is gonna know you. That's a motherfucking friend.
True. Some people are associates. Some people are friends.
Yeah. I don't even know if you call them motherfuckers associates.
Associates is people you know.
I can dig that like the grave.
You know, I'm an associate. A friend is somebody that's your ace boom coon. And I have
So-
friends. I can honestly say I have friends of all races.
So
Am I militant? Yes. Am I associated with Black Lives Matter? Absolutely.
You associated with Black Lives Matter?
I am.
Ask me.
I am. I'm a
I
member.
say ask me.
Are you?
You gotta ask the whole question.
Are you associated with Black Lives Matter?
Fuck no.
Fuck you.
No, what you mean fuck me? You can't see what I'm saying. That's what black people do. If you don't agree with them, they say fuck you. No. I'm just
that's
saying.
me talking shit. No, I don't care. I don't have a problem. I know that. So I'm gonna say this about you.
Let me say
Oh,
this.
wait, no, I'm talking. Shut up.
Oh shit, that's that man woman shit. Yeah, I said it.
That's that boss bitch shit.
Okay.
I don't have a problem that you're not associated with Black Lives Matter because I know that you do so much more in the community that has nothing to do with me but saying I belong to this, I belong to
Well,
that.
won't you ask me? Why?
Huh?
Ask me why.
Why? I never asked you, so I'm gonna ask you now.
But you gotta carry it out so they can understand on the podcast. What the fuck it is you asking?
Why aren't you associated with Black Lives Matter?
Because fuck them for one. for number 2, they only Black Lives Matter when they see hope and opportunity for a cause and to be in the press and to sit up here in Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter does not have to exist in the public eye. Black Lives, hold on.
No group should have to exist in the public eye. You're right.
Hold on, you asked me. This is snippet. The snippet. The black, well, I'm gonna wait for him to do his thing. Here's the thing with the Black Lives Matter, and no disrespect to the group.
Mm-hmm.
Black Lives Matter is only one, from what I've seen, they only capture events to what captures the public eye.
Okay, so that's not true.
Hold on,
But I get you. I know where you're coming from.
Hold the fuck on. You asked the question.
I did. I'm gonna let you answer.
You gonna let me? Thank you. Listen, when Black Lives Matter, they do their thing. I ain't mad at them, whatever.
I think I'm low on my drink.
Hold on. You drunk all the shit up.
Shut up. I'm listening.
Well, this woman shit. What I'm saying is, with Black Lives Matter, they eye seekers, in my opinion. You feel like if somebody disagree with you, then they black. They're not black. But you know that shit ain't right.
You can't change your skin.
Hold on. No, you can't change your behavior. Because you hang around me, you know I ain't nothing but black. However, just like remember with my restaurant, they were like, I closed my restaurant because I said closed due to African American employees' continuous theft. The motherfucker was sworn and calling me, telling me, oh, he white, he racist. No, motherfucker, I'm black. I hired a lot of motherfucking tellers. They stole from me.
You just played into their narrative.
I ain't played.
That's how they felt.
Hold on.
They wanted to hear from you because you were opposite of their narrative.
No. Fuck them in the narrative. I ain't playing for no narrative. I'm speaking truth on me. I give a fuck.
But that's your
about the public
hiring
eye.
practices. Hire other people.
No. What I'm stating is, fuck the narrative. What I'm stating is, it ain't got nothing to do with them. Only thing I'm saying with Black Lives Matter, the life should matter irregardless when you're black and you're not in the public eye. It shouldn't matter whether you hiring Ben Crump or motherfucking attorney that you never heard of. It only matters when you got the publicity eye.
That's not true.
In my age, from what I see.
I hear you because that's all you hear in the news.
No, what I see. I said what I see.
Right, because you're not going to hear if they're involved in other stuff at another level.
Oh, let me finish.
So
I'm almost finished. Hold on.
So let me say this. No, hold on. Let me say this. So I'm going to say that everybody.
I just gonna cut me off, but I'm supposed to listen to you.
Shut up. Everybody's life
See, that's that woman shit.
That is. It is. Fuck it.
Well, let me let the man take over.
Boss bitch, shut up.
And this a boss.
I don't feel like
man.
anybody's life is more important than anybody else's.
But I understand what Black Lives Matter. I'm not gonna say that.
I do feel like my life matters.
The Black Lives Matter. I can understand the concept. The concept is saying our lives matter too.
Exactly.
When I talk about the Black Lives Matter movement, I pay attention to how they move. I've called the ACLU on a couple of situations. Right. ACLU, which is supposed to be for Black Lives, them motherfuckers responded the same way twice from two totally different incidents. And hold on.
Okay,
hold on. And then I wrote them, and all that, well, goddamn, this was written to you about this situation, and this was written to you a year and a half later about this situation. So happily I got both the letters. Y'all responded the exact same way. So that means, no, that means you motherfuckers, y'all ain't really caring about no black lives. Y'all, if it ain't catching the public eye, y'all can give two fucks about it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, let me stop you. So the American Civil Liberties Union,
who? ACLU.
Probably gets 2,000 complaints a day, right?
Who gives a fuck?
It matters. You only have so much staff. They're a nonprofit.
No.
They can. Look.
They only catch cases
that
in the fucking public eye.
They have to because they need the public to be aware of taking in a public case.
They do. If you about that life, you supposed to be aware. Period.
Not if you don't have the money to fund it.
They got the fucking money. They
don't. It's a non-profit. They don't.
Nigga, non-profits get the goddamn money and they sit up in and
every non-profit is not sitting in the black with a plethora of funds. The ACLU they know will change
So
precedent.
you're defending them?
Yeah, I think they do good work.
I ain't asked you that, yes or no. You defending them?
I am.
You defending Black Lives Matter?
I am.
Well, fuck it. Let's talk about Daddy D'z, because we disagree.
We agree to disagree. It is what it
All right,
is.
well, we talking about going back to Daddy D'z.
Okay, like I said, I need a legacy from my
Power to
kids.
the people.
Power to the people. I needed a legacy for my children. I wanted to make sure that if my cancer comes back twice.
Right.
I know it's aggressive. The chances are my cancer will either come back in my brain or in my lungs. Like, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, according to what they told me. I needed to make sure that my children had an ability to have a cash flow coming in, right? I was someone with Down syndrome. Down syndrome is no joke. I want to know he always has someplace to work. He loves people. You know how Christopher is. He just is pure love. There's no hate.
Your son has what?
Down syndrome. There's no hate. See, I feel like those are God's chosen people. You know why? Because they don't hate you based on your color, your sex, your money. They don't care. They just love. They just love who you are. They don't give a fuck what you have, what you are, what you do, where you've been. None of that matters. They just love you. Granted, don't get me wrong. He be having his days when he get an attitude. He had those days. But I wanted to make sure that there was something that was his if I wasn't here. Because I didn't want him to rely on society. Because no matter what, I have black sons.
What?
I have black sons. He's still a kid with Down syndrome, but when he gets older and he gets larger, he's still a black man with a disability. And the police don't give a fuck. And I didn't.
We've seen that numerous of times.
Too many times.
Too many.
I mean, I've had to talk with my son since he was 5. You can't go outside and play with your guns, your toy guns. You can't go outside and play with your ghillie suit. You can't do this, you can't do that. When you get pulled over, make sure your hands is out. Like, I've had that.
I have been talking to my daughter.
You do, but as a black woman, it's very less like.
No, it's not anymore.
It happens, but it's still less likely.
No, not no more.
Yes.
When me and you was growing up, it was super less likely because they
It
didn't
was,
bust out
but it's
black
still
women.
less likely.
Now
if it
they
happened to
damn
you.
near equal. They
No,
shoot women
it's
like
not.
they shoot men.
They don't. It's still at a lower rate, but it happens. I'm not going to negate it. It happens, but it's still at a lower rate because you're their threat. Man to man, you're their threat.
No, you know they got smarter. Y'all the threat too because y'all hold us down, but then y'all have another baby with somebody else, and now y'all got a person to hold it down and you got another
It's still
one to
not the
raise.
same, which is why for every black man killed, every 6 black men killed, there's 1 black woman.
This gonna be another show. She's
It's
gonna
still
get
not
into
the
that
same.
ability. Here's the podcast today, Pinpoint Podcast. Hey, we can sit out here and go.
I mean, there's so many different
motherfucking
nuances.
day.
We're gonna argue. I'm
And
not
it's
gonna agree with you
Christinah
just because you
No, I don't want
dare.
you. No, I don't want you to agree with me. I'm talking about. I want to talk about all of your success at Daddy D'z and how you build up to it. Because hey, she did some wonderful things. It was a super wonderful thing that she got on the Today Show, and they gave her a $40,000 grant.
It was from the Historic Foundation for American Express.
Exactly. So she's knowledgeable enough to know how to go toward that, and then they look into it. They don't pick everybody because her business is viable. She's doing more great changes. She got live jazz, great barbecue. You could come on and interrupt me at any time like you would the black.
I mean, we do. We have all of that, and
Tell
I need you to understand that while I'm militant in many ways, I appreciate everybody for who they are.
Yeah.
I love people for who they are, but I mean, I'm a black woman, so I have to do what I have to do.
And y'all know one thing, I need you to get this a snippet. You know one thing we do, we did it for Who's Got Soul, and of course I gotta do it for my friend, for my sister. Anybody in the first 5 businesses not in the fucking visuals, a legitimate business in Fulton County only, because that's where she's located.
I am.
She's on Memorial Drive, she's gonna give you the address. First 5 businesses, contact Pinpoint. You got a certain amount of time after we post. Contact us, we'll buy your whole staff lunch. Now she gonna let me know if you're a legitimate business.
Yeah.
And me knowing if you're a can of motherfucking oil coming with a slick tongue and slick paperwork, I'm gonna know if you're full of shit. But if you legit, y'all staff lunches on Pinpoint Podcast. Because that's what we do here. When we invite our guests out, we have fun, we enjoy, we smoke hookah, we have a nice drink, and we have no censors. And we hope nobody take offense, but if you do, fuck you. Because it ain't to offend you, that's what we are. And so what we gonna do, because me and her can go all motherfucking day. We gonna cut this shit short. They ain't short, but it's long. Anybody out there goes to Daddy D'z. After this podcast is posted, you gotta like and subscribe to our YouTube. You gotta go on to Simple Rule. You gotta go on to our Pinpoint Foundation page and show us that you watch that, and see and tell us what we're about. We'll buy your staff. No matter how small, how big, we're gonna buy them lunch. Now, you got to get in touch with Miss Coco, because you get in touch with her employees, y'all gonna be full of shit and on that same game plan, just get some free meals. What we want to do is thank Miss Christinah Coker'Jackson for coming out. I want y'all to go out there and visit Daddy D'z, but before we leave, I want her to give y'all your website, the address, and how y'all can reach her, and they do carry out.
We do.
Here's Chris with Daddy D'z. Ball to the people.
Amen.
Go ahead.
So I'm located at 264 Memorial Drive. My email, Chris, CHRS, at daddyds.com. Daddyds.com, DADDYDZ.com is our email address. You can order online from us. If you're smart, you can order online from us through our website, because if you go through Uber Eats or DoorDash, you're going to pay their markup, because they charge a markup. They get a portion of the money. We'd love to see y'all come. Yes, I'm militant in many ways, but
But the food is great.
The food is great, and I'm full of love. I
want
to see all of us get along. I want to see, and I don't give a fuck.
It sounds like some Rodney
fucked
King
up.
shit. Can we all get
Nah, because he was stupid with that shit.
Oh, shit. Anyway, Daddy D'z, everybody. Hey, Miss Chris, go out and visit her at 264 Memorial Drive, Atlanta, Georgia. She got great food. It's historical.
Come see us. Come talk to me. I'll chop it up with anybody. Come
chop it up with me. She gonna give you a conversation for real.
I am.
And you get live music. The live music coming back, right?
It is coming back, thank God, on Saturday.
Hey, one quick question, real quick, with no militant shit, short. How did you survive the pandemic?
I didn't close.
There you go.
Your bills don't go away.
That's what you call an entrepreneur. One liner, I didn't close. And with that, we're going to close out by saying Pinpoint Podcast. We appreciate everybody who come out there and look at it, who view us, who listen to us, and subscribe to us. And hey, remember, we are a foundation, non-profit organization. If anybody want to donate to the cause, because we teach teens, young adults with financial responsibilities, we feed the homeless, we feed the hungry. See, the homeless is homeless, but the hungry people working, just making it ends meet. We give our clothes, we buy bikes and things for unfortunate parents. One single family home, we buy bikes and everything during Christmas time. If you're looking for something during Thanksgiving, we feed family. Hey, but if you like to support us, you can do it two ways. You can Zelle Pinpoint Foundation, well, three ways. Or you can come in and visit us, or you can write us a check. The Pinpoint Foundation. Hey, appreciate everybody. We thank our special guest, my good friend, Christinah, the AKA new name, Militant Coker. Come out and visit her, go out and visit her, and Daddy D'z. Peace. We out, and I salute.